Colts on the clock, week 2. Jags coming in off a loss from the Commanders. Could be worse. You could have just tied the Texans.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
They're definitely a better team than that. Obviously, you wouldn't have expected them to come in and, tie the Texans. But again, it's week 1. So much can happen. Can't underestimate these guys. We're going to match up with them this Sunday in Jacksonville. They, for whatever reason, have struggled to beat us at home. Actually, their last win against Jacksonville in Jacksonville happened in 2014. I was a freshman in high school. I am now out of college, so it dates back a while. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the preview of what to expect and what I'm looking forward to into week 2 against the Colts. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm an optimistic fan. I feel like if you're not optimistic, at least to a certain degree, why are you watching in general? And I still think I had the Jags, potentially making a playoff spot this year. And I still feel that way.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
But if there's any chance that does happen, gotta win our division games. And even more importantly, you got to win the division games at home. Got to take advantage of every single matchup you get against your division rivals because, that's who you're competing for the division. The AFC South isn't that difficult. There's no Chiefs in our division. There's no Bucks. You got the Titans, you got the Colts, who are two just kind of solid teams. And then Houston, who I would assume, is really in the mix for last. So, it is a very winnable division. But in order to win that division, you got to beat the teams within the division. And that's something we've struggled with heavily these past few years. The Colts, like I said before, they're coming off a brutal tie against the Houston Texans. Definitely not a way you want to start if you're Indianapolis. They're definitely going to come into Jacksonville hungry for more than one reason. One reason, we knocked them out of the playoffs last year. Week 18, the Colts had everything to lose. We had nothing to lose. Came into that game, handled business, knocked the Colts out of playoff contention. They are definitely going to want revenge for that game. Reason number 2, it's a get-right game. They just, like I just said, they tied to Houston. Got to win division games. They're going to come in hungry. And reason number 3, Yannick Ngakoue is going to be on the other side of the ball. It's our first time matching up against Yannick Ngakoue since his departure in Jacksonville. And he's already tweeting that this week feels different for him. He's definitely going to look for some revenge on Jacksonville, that's for sure. As far as injuries are concerned, the Jags are extremely fortunate. Yet again, nobody is on our injury report. So it looks like we're coming in fully healthy into week 2, which is huge. On the other side, the Colts, they got a lot of injuries, and injuries to key players. On the offensive side of the ball, rookie Alec Pierce, out with a concussion. And then Michael Pittman, an interesting one, dealing with a quad injury, and he's questionable for Sunday. He was limited on Wednesday, but then Thursday and Friday he didn't practice. So it's looking like he might actually not be able to go. So they're going to be down their 1 and 2 receivers. And then on the defensive side of the ball, big name players here as well. DeForest Buckner dealing with a hip injury, and he's questionable as well. He didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday, but then Friday he was a full participant, so it's looking like he's going to be able to suit up. And then cornerback Kenny Moore, another big-time player for them. He's also dealing with a hip injury and is questionable for Sunday. He was limited on Wednesday. He didn't practice Thursday, but he was a full go Friday. So again, just like DeForest Buckner, trending in the right direction, but still, like I said before, banged up. And then last but not least, one of the biggest names on the Colts, Shaquille Leonard. Getting used to that name switch is going to take a little bit, but Shaquille Leonard, he's dealing with a back injury, and he's already been ruled out for Sunday's game, and that's their biggest playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. So that's a huge, huge loss for Indy. I know we lost week 1, and like I said before, I'm not a moral victory guy, but I think the Jags played relatively well. I think we beat ourselves, and I know that's very cliche to say, but you guys watched the game. We had every single chance in the world to capitalize and take that game over. We just fell a little short. But the thing about it is I think they're all correctable mistakes. It's miscommunications. It's capitalizing in the red zone. It's getting pass rush and really disrupting the quarterback, which I think we're going to be able to do against Matt Ryan. He's a statue. And not to say we didn't have, our ends play well. Like Josh Allen's win rate was great. Trayvon Walker was disruptive. But I want to hit the quarterback more. And I think we have the players to do that. So when I say correctable mistakes, that one's not so much of a correctable mistake. It's just something that I expect to be better going forward. And then tackling. We need to wrap up. Gave up way too many third down conversions on plays that looked dead. But Curtis Samuel was able to break off us or, juke us out and then fall forward for a first. That just cannot happen. So I think, a lot of correctable mistakes. Definitely things I would assume that were worked on at practice heavily. But I'm definitely looking forward to see us, figure those things out and implement them on Sunday. All right, my top 3 things I'm looking forward to on the offensive side of the ball. Number 1, consistency from Trevor Lawrence. Can't see any more easy missed throws. He is so capable of making some of the throws that he missed last week. It's ridiculous. We've seen him make ridiculous, insane throws before. And then it's the easy little, like, for example, that first quarter, that wheel route to Travis Etienne, that throw has to be made 10 times out of 10. So I'm looking forward to see him really figure those out, calm down, and just hit the easy ones. It's tough to have a good day on offense if you can't hit the easy throws. And I think he'll be able to fix these. I have no reason to not believe he will. So that's one of the main things, if not the most important thing that I'm looking forward to, is just seeing more consistency from Trevor Lawrence, because I know well he's capable of it. Number 2, the workload from the running backs. It was pretty much a dead split between James Robinson and Travis Etienne last week. I'm excited to see kind of what we do differently, or if we keep it the same. I expect more involvement in the pass game for Travis Etienne going forward. I didn't really see him line up out wide too much, and I want to see more of that going forward. And then as far as red zone work, I'm really intrigued to see how we balance these backs, and if it continues to be James Robinson at the goal line, or if we try and get Travis Etienne more involved, because he's capable of it. So seeing how Doug handles that situation is going to be really interesting going into week 2 and then forward. And then number 3, pass protection. As far as the run game was concerned, the offensive line played amazing. The offensive line had one of the best days on Sunday as far as run blocking goes. Now, on the other hand, when it comes to pass protection, brutal. 21 of Trevor Lawrence's 45 dropbacks had pressure in his face. That is just inexcusable. To go along with the penalties, these are just not things that you can get away with and win football games. It doesn't happen like that. So 2 things: protect Trevor, can't have him take shots, and 2, give him time, because when he did have time to throw, he was incredible. And I know he's an NFL quarterback. When you have a clean pocket, you should be able to make, plays happen. But if you look at the number difference between when he had a clean pocket versus pressure in his face, it was unbelievable. You give him more time, he will find guys. He is way too talented not to. So as long as the pass protection is better, we're going up against a better defense, but they're banged up. So got to play better and got to protect our quarterback. Now, 3 things I'm looking forward to see on defense. 1, I'm looking forward to a Shaquille Griffin comeback game. I want to see him make a play. I want to see him make a difference. Can't see him getting burnt over top anymore. He's too fast, too quick to do that. I see a lot of people on the timeline just kind of giving up on Shaq. I don't think he's a bum like people are saying at all. I think he's the heart and soul of that defense as far as energy and leadership goes. He can be a real difference maker, but getting burnt over top by rookies, that's just inexcusable. He's too good for that. But yeah, all the people kind of throwing him under the bus and saying, he's the worst free agency signing we had that season. I think you have a reason to believe that with the contract that he's under. But Shaquille Griffin is a good player. He really is. He brings in a couple of those picks he dropped last year, and you guys wouldn't be speaking like this. He had a lot of drop picks last year, and I promise you, if he had 4 or 5 picks on the season last year, you're not calling him a scrub. The fact that he was in position to make a play on the ball so many times last year just shows how talented he can be. So I think this year's a really big year for him. Get right, and hopefully he has a good comeback in week 2, because as it looks so far, he's not going to be playing up against their 1 and 2 receivers. So he has really no excuse in week 2. Number 2, more pass rush. I know I talked about it before. Josh Allen's win rate was still fantastic, towards the top of the league, and then Trayvon Walker was disruptive. But I want to see more guys hitting the quarterback. Guys like DeJuan Smoot, Arden Key. I want to see our rotational guys get involved. And then Josh Allen, let's get some sacks. Trayvon Walker, keep being disruptive. We have every chance in the world to come away in this game with, 7 or 8 sacks. Matt Ryan is an absolute statue. He's not going anywhere. You get pressure, you just got to take him down. He's not going to run around you. So I need our D-line to eat this week, and I think they will. And number 3, get off the field on 3rd downs. Their conversion rate at 70% last week is just inexcusable. Wrap up, get off the field, quit giving them more opportunities to go down and get points. The Colts are a better football team than the Washington Commanders. If you give up another 70% conversion rate on 3rd down, I promise you we are losing this game by double digits. And that's like minimum. You cannot afford to do that against good football teams. Not to say Washington isn't good, but the Colts are a legitimate threat to make the playoffs and then, win a game or 2. They're a good football team all around. They're banged up. Got to take advantage of it. And then kind of some important keys to victory. 1, penalties. 13-5 last week. It cost our team 100 yards last week. Inexcusable again. If you want to beat good football teams, can't do that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just got to cut down on the penalties big time, because that just cannot happen. And 2, got to take advantage. Indy is banged up on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Got to use that to our advantage if we want to win this game. Their receiver duo is hurt. Their best defensive player is hurt. Arguably their best defensive lineman is hurt. And debatably their best corner is banged up. Now, whether they play or not, the guys that are questionable, they're still not healthy going into the week. So you have got to take advantage of that. Can't beat a team like Indy, shooting ourselves in the foot as many times as we did last week against Washington. Just can't do it. So with how many injuries they have, got to take advantage of it. And I think Doug will be able to scheme up a way to really embrace that. Now, as far as a prediction goes, I'm nervous about this one, but for some reason I'm confident. I don't completely want to attribute it to our 2014 streak of winning this game at home. but it's hard to ignore it. But the thing is, it is a different team each and every year since 2014, going head to head. So anything can happen. This team is completely different from last year, and so are they. But I know they're super hungry, and we should be as well. Really hoping we can turn this thing around. Cannot afford to go down 0-2, and I know they're feeling the same way. It's a division game, gonna be high intensity. Really got to bring this one home. So I appreciate you guys clicking on the video. Make sure to drop a like. Leave in the comments how you're feeling going into this week. If you haven't hit the subscription yet, I don't know what you're doing. It's free. You can unsubscribe at any point in time. I'm going to be getting content out all throughout the season. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get an alert every time I post a brand new video. So again, appreciate you guys watching. And as always, go Jags.